So from a financial perspective on this bond issue, needless to say, we've gotten quite a bit of the community engaged in this bond issue, and I think that's a really good thing. We've gotten a lot of questions, we've gotten a lot of feedback, we've gotten a lot of requests. We've continuously updated our website, school district website, with data as we've gotten further questions from the community. So hopefully you're using that as a resource. So I just wanted to go over tonight some of the things that I can read or that I'm getting phone calls on that are still questions that I think need some clarity. So those were the highlights that I was going to hit. One of the questions is about, why are we saying, there's a, 500,000 savings out there if we're going to spend money. From my perspective, any plan that we would pick, we're going to have to spend some money. The consolidation plan is the only plan that gives us ability to change our model and eliminate some positions that are replicated in 3 buildings. So that's why the consolidated model, in my mind, makes the best sense. And we've got enough employees currently and in the near future that are either eligible to retire or will be eligible to retire in the next couple of years, that 500,000 is attainable. It doesn't take a lot of positions to get to $500,000 when you roll in benefits and you roll in salaries, and that's on today's dollars. So I just wanted to address that point of how are we saying that, or why are we saying that. That's what that's about. We're not able to do that when we keep 3 buildings. We still have to do the same things, probably keep the same head count, and so forth. So if we consolidate, that's the advantage. That's the real change that makes a difference, and not just a difference during the term of the payoff of the debt, a difference for the life of the time that we keep that base of employees at a different level than what we have today. So, I know that's a delicate subject, and I'm sure we would go at it delicately, but that is the reason behind the logic of the consolidation and the savings. Some other things is we've gotten requests for by building spending information. We spend beyond our maintenance crew, which I thought I saw Fred here, beyond their efforts, which, obviously they get, Fred's retired, but maintenance gets a salary. Beyond those expenses, we spend thousands of dollars in our general fund, our PI fund, and occasionally we've gotten some grants that we've been able to use to do certain, select things to upgrade our facilities. There are some years it ends up being hundreds of thousands of dollars, but every year, every building gets thousands of dollars in repairs. We went back and created the last 2 years by building and put it on our website because there was a lot of questions about that. So that's out there for your view. Online checkbook. This is something that you might have seen it in the paper. It's available now. The state treasurer's office created a software for all government agencies to share their basically your checkbook. So the school checkbook is on the state treasurer's website. It's got the last 3 years of information. It includes our general fund, it includes our PI fund, it includes all our grant funds. So it's very easy tool to use. You can sort any which way you want by vendor. You can sort by type of expense. You can sort by dollar amount. You can sort by date, etc. So it's just another capability or tool for the community to look at our spend. And every year we will add another year of our expenditures onto that website. Okay. PI set aside for new building. I don't think we've talked about this a lot, and we probably should have. So questions have come up with regards to how are we going to maintain this new building. As a part of this project, we have to set aside, and it's a proration calculation, but it amounts to about $170,000 of our current $500,000 in PI money. We have to set that aside for this new elementary building. So that money will be there. It can only be used for that. I'm sure maintenance plans need to be developed based upon what building is built, but the point is there's money that it will be set aside to cover that type of improvements that need to the new building. The Nexus pipeline, again, just some points of clarity. We did speak about it in the last board meeting. And I know the Alliance Review is working on some information to get out there that's kind of a school and township type presentation. There's a forecast out there. It's been out there for some time. That's the $14 million figure that you might have read about. What that represents is based on our current millage, not including the bond, but current millage for our general fund and our permanent improvement fund. If the pipeline is approved, if it goes in, and if it stays at what it's estimated to be an $87 million asset, if it stays at that for the first 5 years, that's the projected tax revenue that the school district would get. It's a projection. The pipeline asset itself is valued every year by the state. If it's not producing, it doesn't get a value. If it doesn't get a value, it doesn't get taxed, and we don't get money. So we've been skeptical. We would rather see the money come before we count on it. We have a lot of other needs besides our elementary building. Our high school could use a lot of improvements from a facility perspective, and our middle school as well. And then we have other buildings. So there's uses for that money if that money does come our way. In addition, the board can always decide if they want to use that money from the Nexus pipeline to pay down on the bond debt for the consolidated elementary. That's a choice. Or it can be a combination of both. It doesn't have to be all or one or the other. Any money that comes from the Nexus pipeline related to the bond issue 11, the $3 million that is up for May 2nd, that has to be used for pay down of the bond issue. And any money that would come that way just reduces the amount that the taxpayers have to pay, because we can only collect to the extent of the debt. Okay? $8 million carryover. Oh, one more point on Nexus. There seems to be comments at times saying if the pipeline doesn't come through the school district property, we don't get any money. That's not true. We don't get any money that might be like lease money or signing bonus money, but if it goes in any property of our district and becomes an asset subject to taxation at the county level, we would benefit that way. But we don't have to have it physically go through our property, and there's a difference there, but I know people are getting a little bit tripped up on that. So it's not going through our property. We've not signed any contract. We've not gotten any money. But if it becomes an asset that's producing and is assigned a value, that's how we would get money through the county. Okay. The $8 million carryover balance. So a good rule of thumb within school districts is you try to keep 3 to 6 months expenses in your cash, in your checkbook. Our operating budget is about $24.5 million. $8 million gets us about 4 months of expenditures. So it's a good place to be. It's a safe place to be. It's a good rule of thumb that we all use personally. Things can happen with state funding that lower how much we get. So I mean, it's a good place to be. It's where we're at, and it's something we want to keep. So that was it that I had, I think. Yes, that was all I had, so thank you.